As I sit in my study, the vast landscape before me mirrors the journey my life has taken, filled with highs, lows, triumphs, and defeats. Over 8 decades, I've faced more failures than I can count. Some hurt deeply, others seemed trivial, but all left their mark. In my youth, I feared failure, believing it a sign of weakness. The pressure of societal expectations pushed me to hide my mistakes, striving only for success. I was convinced that failure would define me in a negative light, but with time I began to see failure differently. As I gained wisdom with age, I realized it wasn't an end, but a new beginning, a lesson. Each failure became an opportunity for growth, teaching me resilience, self-discovery, and strength. What once seemed like setbacks now appear as stepping stones, guiding me to a deeper understanding of who I am and what it means to succeed. Through each stumble, I uncovered more strength and wisdom. In this journey, every failure has brought me closer to the person I am today. As I reflect on my path, I see that despite the setbacks, I grew not just in wealth, but in wisdom and understanding. The path wasn't always smooth, but each misstep revealed an essential truth. Failure is vital to the journey of growth. When I think back to my first major business failure, I can still feel its weight. I had poured everything into a project I believed in, only to watch it all crumble. It felt like the end of everything, my dream, my hope, my purpose. I thought I had failed in the worst possible way. It's understandable. When you invest everything, failure can feel like the world's crashing down. But what I didn't realize then was that failure isn't the end. It's just the beginning. Over time, I learned this truth. In the depth of that defeat, I found something powerful, a spark, a new chance. I could wallow in pain or grow from it. I chose to grow, and I found that failure wasn't something to fear. It was an opportunity to pivot and start anew. Failure can shake your confidence, challenge your beliefs, and make you question everything. But if you see it for what it truly is, a lesson, a redirection, a new beginning, you'll realize it's just part of the journey, not the end of it. When you fail, it's okay to feel crushed. But remember, failure doesn't define you. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's just part of life. It's a chance to reassess and change course if needed. I know it's tough when you're in the midst of failure, but trust me, every successful person has faced it. It's part of being human. This advice applies to any failure, whether in business, personal loss, or unfulfilled dreams. Failure can reset your path. Take a step back, reevaluate, and consider that it might lead you to a better place. When you fail, here's what you can do. Acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to be upset. Don't rush past emotions, but don't let them control you either. Reflect. What did you learn? What could you do differently next time? Pivot. See this as an opportunity to change direction. Maybe the original idea wasn't right for you, and that's fine. Set new, small goals. Break things down into manageable steps to build momentum. Failure brings pain, but also growth. Avoiding failure might mean missing valuable lessons. You can't move forward without risk, and sometimes those risks don't pay off. That's okay. Even if it seems impossible right now, you have the strength to overcome this. Failure doesn't make you less capable. It makes you more experienced. In time, you'll see how this failure will push you closer to your true potential. You can rise from this. This is your journey, and you get to decide how to move forward. Trust yourself to make the right choices. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, and you have the power to choose your path. If you need support, I'm here to talk. This process is tough, but with each step forward, you'll grow stronger. As I reflect on my life, I can't help but notice how many times I've failed, whether it was a failed business, a broken relationship, or a personal dream that never came true. Each failure taught me something valuable, though when I was younger, I was too frustrated to see it. I wanted to fix things quickly and move on, often missing the lesson that failure had to offer. Now, after many years, I understand that failure is a teacher. In the beginning, I was blinded by frustration and embarrassment, wanting to push past it as fast as possible. But now, I see those failures as stepping stones, opportunities to learn, grow, and become a better version of myself. Failure can feel like a roadblock, but it's really a chance to learn. Instead of running from it, we need to pause and reflect. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? Failure isn't just failure, it's a chance to apply new knowledge going forward. I understand how painful failure can be. You might be facing something now that feels like it will hold you back forever. It's frustrating and discouraging, but remember, you're not alone. Everyone, no matter how successful they seem, has faced failure. Take the time you need to process and learn from it. Whether you've failed in business, love, or personal goals, the advice I offer is simple. Stop and learn. Ask yourself, what did I learn here? What can I take from this to help me grow? The answer will be more valuable than trying to avoid failure. After a failure, here's what I recommend. Acknowledge your emotions. It's okay to feel upset. Don't suppress your feelings, but don't let them control you. Pause and reflect. Think about what went wrong. What could you have done differently? What did you learn? Take notes. Write down what you learned and what insights you can apply next time. Set a plan. After reflecting, set small goals to move forward and apply what you've learned. Failure brings both pain and growth. The key is to balance the discomfort with the lessons it offers. Don't let failure define you. Instead, understand its lesson and keep moving forward. Even though it may feel impossible right now, know that every failure is a chance to grow. The road to success is filled with setbacks, and each one brings you closer to where you're meant to be. Keep going, you're building strength. This is your journey, and the decisions are yours to make. Trust yourself to choose the right path for you. If you need time to process, give yourself that space. Whatever you choose, know that it's okay. If you need support, I'm here to talk. You don't have to go through failure alone. Reach out when you need advice or just someone to listen. There's always support available to help you move forward. Looking back, I realized the biggest hurdle I had to overcome in my life wasn't external, it was my own mindset. In my younger years, I believed that success meant winning at all costs. I thought pushing myself beyond my limits and avoiding failure was the way to get ahead. But as time passed, I began to feel something unexpected, emptiness and constant anxiety. The true cost of that mentality was my peace of mind. It wasn't until I shifted my focus that things changed. I stopped seeing failure as something to avoid and began seeing it as a natural part of growth. Failure wasn't the enemy, it was a teacher. Once I embraced this, I became more focused, intentional, and, most importantly, less fearful. The more I failed, the more I learned, and the more I grew. Each failure was proof that I was pushing myself, taking risks, and moving forward. The key to success is shifting your mindset to see failure as part of the process, not the end of the road. Mindset is everything. If you fear failure, it can paralyze you. But if you view failure as an opportunity to learn and grow, you'll be empowered. Setbacks are lessons, not defeats. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it. I understand how hard it is to shift your mindset, especially when the world tells you failure is shameful, but peace comes when you let go of that fear. I've been there, felt the pressure to win at all costs, and I can tell you, it's worth letting go of that mindset. If you're afraid of failing, this advice is for you. The sooner you start embracing that failure is part of the journey, the sooner you'll take action without being paralyzed by fear. Here are a few practical steps to shift your mindset. Change your language. Use words like opportunity and lesson instead of failure. Language shapes how we feel. Challenge the fear. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Often, the fear is worse than the failure itself. Take small risks. Start with manageable mistakes. The more you fail, the more you'll see it's necessary for growth. Celebrate learning moments. Acknowledge what you've learned when things don't go as planned. Shifting your mindset doesn't mean ignoring success. It's about balancing your goals with an openness to failure as part of the journey. True growth happens when you're willing to fail, learn, and adapt. This mindset shift isn't easy, but it's worth it. Imagine a life where you're not afraid to take chances and can face setbacks with confidence, knowing they're part of your growth. Embracing this mindset will open doors for you. You have the strength to do this, and it will make all the difference. This is your journey. You decide how to view failure, and it's up to you to take that first step. Trust yourself to make the right choice. If you need support in this journey, I'm here. Changing your mindset can be tough, but we can navigate this together. Reach out if you want to talk more. I'm always here to listen and help. When I reflect on the early years of my career, I clearly remember my instinctive reaction to failure: blame. I blamed everything and everyone: bad luck, circumstances, other people. It felt easier to point fingers than to face the uncomfortable truth that I had some role in my failures. But as I grew older, I realized something crucial. True growth comes from owning your mistakes. Taking responsibility for my failures wasn't easy. It was painful to admit that I hadn't always made the right decisions or given my best. But when I finally accepted responsibility, something shifted within me. I gained the power to change. I stopped being a passive victim of circumstances and became an active participant in my own growth. That's when I saw real progress. Blaming others may feel good in the moment, but it keeps you stuck. Taking responsibility, even for things beyond your control, frees you to make changes and take action. True strength lies not in avoiding failure, but in owning it and learning from it. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you're solely to blame for everything. It's about acknowledging your part and understanding that you have control over your response. Once you stop blaming and start owning, you unlock the ability to change and grow. I understand how hard it is to admit mistakes, especially when things feel unfair. It's natural to want to protect your pride and shift the blame, but holding on to blame keeps you stuck. You're not alone in this. It's a tough but powerful step. Once you take it, you'll feel empowered to create change. If you're facing a setback, ask yourself, what can I take responsibility for? Maybe you weren't fully prepared or made a poor decision. Even if external factors played a role, there's always something within your control. Stop pointing fingers and start looking inward. Owning your mistakes is the first step to moving forward. Here's how to take responsibility and move forward. Acknowledge your mistakes. Recognize where you could have made a better decision. Ask, what can I learn from this? Look at what went wrong, but also focus on what you can learn. Take action. Make a plan to address where you fell short and take concrete steps to improve. Forgive yourself. Don't dwell on guilt. Own your mistakes, learn, and move on. There's a balance between recognizing your responsibility and acknowledging external factors. Owning your mistakes doesn't mean ignoring outside influences, but it does mean focusing on what you control, your actions, decisions, and mindset. Blame keeps you from moving forward, but responsibility empowers you. Taking responsibility is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It's liberating. When you own your failures, you take control of your future. You're showing courage and determination to grow and move forward. This is your life, and you choose how to respond to your failures. Taking responsibility is a powerful choice, but it's yours to make. I encourage you to think about how you can start owning your mistakes in a way that empowers you. If you need support, I'm here. Taking responsibility is a journey, and I'm invested in your growth. Reach out if you want to talk or need advice on moving forward. I'm with you every step of the way. Looking back on my career, one of the most important lessons I wish I'd learned sooner is this: fail early, fail smart. When I was younger, I took risks without thinking them through. I dove into things head first without a solid plan, and failure felt like a punch in the gut. But as I got older, I realized failure isn't a roadblock. It's a stepping stone. If you fail early when the stakes are low, you can learn quickly and recover faster. By my 50s, I had learned to take smarter risks. I started failing with purpose, and everything began to change. Instead of avoiding failure, I welcomed it as part of a plan where failure was an opportunity to adjust, learn, and move forward. The earlier you start this process, the more time you have to build resilience and eventually succeed. The idea behind fail early, fail smart is simple. Don't wait until you have too much to lose before taking risks. Make mistakes early when the consequences are smaller. Fail smart by learning from those mistakes and adapting. When you fail early, you have time to recover and try again without everything being on the line. I understand how hard it is to fail, especially when the stakes are high, but what I've learned is that failure isn't the enemy. It's an opportunity to grow. Every mistake is a step forward. It might not feel like it now, but each failure is a chance to improve. If you're afraid to fail, don't wait until it's too late to take risks. Fail early, when the cost is lower, and fail smart by learning and adjusting your course. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll build the resilience needed to succeed. Here's how to fail early and fail smart. Take small, calculated risks. Start with decisions where the stakes aren't too high. Learn from each failure. Reflect on what went wrong and how you can do better next time. Adjust your approach. Use what you've learned to change course and make progress. Fail with a plan. Take smart risks with a clear strategy and a way to recover if things don't work out. There's a balance between taking reckless risks and never taking any risks at all. Failing smartly is about managing risk so the benefits outweigh the potential downsides. Without failure, there's no room for growth. I encourage you to embrace failure as a learning opportunity, not something to fear. Every successful person you admire has failed. They learned from it and kept moving forward. Your failures are proof that you're trying and growing. This approach is yours to take at your own pace. How much risk you accept is up to you, but failing early and smart can be an advantage. I'm here if you need support or want advice on how to adjust your approach. You've got this, and I'll be here cheering you on every step of the way. In my early years, I was knocked down more times than I can count. Life didn't just hand me failure once, it threw setback after setback my way. At times, it felt like the universe was conspiring against me. But through every challenge, I learned one invaluable lesson: resilience. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about falling, getting up, and continuing to move forward, each time stronger and more prepared than before. The real power lies in our ability to rise after each fall. When life tested me through business losses, personal heartaches, and other obstacles, I had to choose to get back up. And with each rise, I learned to face challenges with more confidence, more wisdom, and a deeper understanding of myself. Resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about bouncing back after it. It's about growing stronger because of difficult times. Your ability to rise after a setback is the true measure of success. The more you practice resilience, the easier it becomes to keep moving forward, even when things seem tough. I understand how hard it can be to face repeated failure. It's emotionally draining, and it can make you question your abilities. But know this, you're not alone in feeling defeated. Everyone falls at some point. What matters is how you respond. Be gentle with yourself, but also remember that you have the strength to rise again. If you're facing a tough time, whether it's a career setback or personal loss, this advice is for you. The road to success isn't smooth, but resilience will carry you through. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about knowing that each time you rise after a fall, you're getting closer to where you want to be. Here's how to build resilience. Accept setbacks. Understand that failures are part of the process. Don't let them define you. Take care of yourself. Rest, reflect, and recover emotionally and physically. Focus on what you can control. Take small actions to regain confidence. Learn from your experiences. Ask yourself what you can learn from each setback. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Resilience doesn't mean you must be strong all the time. It's okay to feel weak or unsure sometimes. The key is that you don't stay down for long. A balanced approach to resilience is understanding it's okay to struggle, but remembering that you have the power to rise again. I encourage you not to give up when times get tough. Every setback is an opportunity to build your resilience. The ability to get back up time and time again is what will define your success. So, keep moving forward even when the path feels hard. Your resilience will carry you through. You have the power to decide how you respond to setbacks. Resilience can help you get through even the toughest times, but how you handle challenges is ultimately up to you. Your journey is unique, and I trust you'll make the right choice for yourself. If you ever need support or guidance, I'm here. Resilience is a skill that takes time to develop, and I'm here to support you as you continue to move forward. Years ago, if you had asked me, I would have told you I was terrified of failure. In fact, I was paralyzed by the thought of it. Fear stopped me from taking chances, from trying new things, and from fully embracing opportunities right in front of me. To me, courage meant never feeling fear. But over time, I learned that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward despite fear. I came to realize that fear is a part of life. It never fully goes away, but it doesn't have to control you. True courage comes from acknowledging your fear and choosing to act anyway. When I started taking risks, even knowing I might fail, I found that failure wasn't something to be afraid of. It became something I could learn from. Failure showed me I was growing, pushing myself beyond my comfort zone. Without that courage, I would have missed out on valuable lessons. Courage isn't about being without fear. It's about choosing to move forward in spite of it. Fear of failure is natural, but if you let it stop you, it will hold you back. Fear will always be there, but it's your choice whether it defines you or drives you forward. I understand how heavy fear can feel. I've spent sleepless nights worrying about what might go wrong. Taking that first step outside your comfort zone isn't easy, and it's okay to feel apprehensive, but you don't have to face this fear alone. It's okay to be afraid. Just don't let it stop you from moving forward. If you're facing a new opportunity, whether a job, project, or relationship, and fear of failure is holding you back, this is for you. The fear is real, but it doesn't have to stop you. Whether you succeed or fail, you gain experience, and experience is priceless. Failure, if it happens, is just another step toward growth. Here's how to build the courage to fail. Start small. Take tiny steps outside your comfort zone. Each step builds confidence. Shift your mindset. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Each step is a learning experience. Reframe failure. See failure as a lesson, not defeat. Ask, what can I learn? Find support. Surround yourself with people who encourage you and offer new perspectives. Take a breath. Calm yourself when fear sets in, then take the next step. No rush. Success isn't about being fearless. It's about having the courage to fail and keep going. There will be times when things go wrong, but there will also be wins that remind you it's worth it. Embrace both fear and courage. They're part of the journey. You're stronger than you think. It's okay to be afraid, but don't let fear control you. Every time you face fear and keep going, you build more courage and confidence. Keep moving forward. You've got this. Ultimately, how you approach fear is up to you. The courage to fail comes from making the choice to keep moving forward, even when afraid. If you ever need someone to talk to or need advice, I'm here for you. Together, we can navigate the challenges and keep pushing forward. You're not alone. In my 80 years, I've learned that the world loves to define people by their successes. We celebrate achievements, but I've realized that failure has been just as important in shaping who I am. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. It's the stumbles and lessons from them that have made me who I am today. For years, I let failure haunt me. I thought it meant I was weak or inadequate, but eventually, I saw failure not as something to fear, but as part of growth. Each failure gave me a chance to become stronger and wiser. Instead of avoiding it, I learned to embrace it. Now I accept failure as a necessary part of life's journey. Here's the truth. Failure is not the end. It's a natural part of life, and it will come no matter what. It's how we respond to it that matters. Every time we fail, we have a choice. Let it break us or use it to grow. Failure is not a label. It's a process that helps you improve. Let it refine you, not define you. I understand the weight of failure. It can feel disheartening when you've put your all into something, only for it to fall apart. But remember, those feelings are temporary. You are not a failure because of setbacks. You're a person learning, evolving, and growing. This is relevant for anyone facing failure, whether in business, relationships, or personal goals. Failure isn't the end. It's a stepping stone. Embrace it, learn from it, and move forward. What defines you is how you choose to move forward. If you're struggling with failure, here's what you can do. Acknowledge the failure. Understand what went wrong without blaming yourself. Ask yourself, what can I learn? Every failure offers valuable lessons. Reframe your perspective. See failure as an opportunity to improve. Set new goals. Use the lessons to adjust your approach. Give yourself permission to try again. Mistakes are part of the process. Failure isn't all bad. It's painful, but also teaches resilience, helps you improve, and brings wisdom. The cons: it's discouraging and hard on the ego. But with balance, you realize failure is key to success. Without it, you wouldn't grow. I want to remind you, failure is not the end. It's part of the journey, and it doesn't define you. The key is not to give up. Keep going. You are stronger than you think, and you'll emerge better than before. Embrace failure, learn from it, and move forward. Ultimately, the choice is yours. Only you decide how failure affects you. Don't let it hold you back. You have the power to grow, keep moving, and make the most of every lesson life offers. If you ever feel stuck, I'm here. Whether you need encouragement or guidance, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's make sure failure refines you, not defines you. I've learned one undeniable truth about success. It requires the willingness to fail. I'm not saying to fail for the sake of it, but to face it, learn from it, and keep moving forward despite setbacks. Every success in my life, whether building empires, losing fortunes, or rebuilding them, came because I was willing to fail. When I was younger, I thought success meant avoiding failure. But I realized success isn't about never falling. It's about having the courage to rise every time. I built my fortune by understanding that each failure was a lesson, and those lessons led to lasting success. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about facing it, learning from it, and never letting it stop you. If you're afraid to fail, you won't even try. The key is persistence, the willingness to fail repeatedly, but never let failure define you. It's about moving forward despite the fear. I understand the fear that comes with failure. It's hard to keep going when you've fallen, especially when the stakes are high, but failure doesn't make you a failure. It's a stepping stone. It's okay to feel discouraged. What matters is that you don't let it stop you. Failure is an opportunity to learn, grow, and keep moving forward. If you're facing a challenge, a new venture, career change, or personal goal, this is for you. Success isn't a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs. If you're afraid of failure, you'll hold yourself back. Embrace the discomfort, learn from your mistakes, and keep going. Failure is essential to the journey. To build your resilience, set smaller goals, fail on a smaller scale, learn and pivot. Adopt a mindset of experimentation. View each project as an experiment. Test, fail, adjust. Focus on persistence. Don't let setbacks discourage you. Keep going, and success will follow. Evaluate each failure. Ask, what went wrong? What can I do differently? Surround yourself with support. Lean on mentors and friends for guidance. Failure has both pros and cons. Pros: it teaches resilience, offers valuable feedback, and encourages growth. Cons: it can hurt your confidence and delay progress. But with the right mindset, failure becomes an opportunity to grow. Remember, failure is a step toward success. Don't fear it. Each time you fail, you're closer to your goal. Success doesn't come from avoiding failure, it comes from embracing it, learning, and moving forward. Ultimately, how you face failure is up to you. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. Trust your ability to rise. If you need support or guidance, I'm here. Success is for those who dare to fail and rise again. Keep going. As I sit here, reflecting on the decades I've lived, I am filled with immense gratitude. I think back to all the failures. Each one felt like a setback at the time, but now I see them as essential milestones that have shaped who I am. Every failure has led me to where I am today, and for that I'm truly thankful. When I was younger, I feared failure, convinced it would define me, hold me back, and end my dreams. But with experience, I've learned that failure isn't something to fear. It's a crucial part of growth. It's taught me lessons I couldn't have learned any other way. Failure has refined me, strengthened me, and helped me understand what truly matters. Looking back, I see my journey hasn't always been smooth. There were moments of doubt, times when I questioned my choices, and days when I wanted to give up. But the truth is, those failures weren't just part of my journey. They were the foundation of my success. Each setback gave me wisdom, resilience, and the determination to keep going. Without them, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, as I reflect with gratitude, I urge you to do the same. Embrace failure, not as defeat, but as a necessary teacher. Understand that every step, even the missteps, is part of the path to your greatest successes. Thank your failures, because they've made you capable of achieving more than you ever imagined. Remember, your failures don't define you, they refine you. Each failure is another chapter in your life story, and with every chapter, you grow, evolve, and get closer to your own success. Take pride in your journey, even when it feels uncertain. With each step, you're becoming the person you're meant to be.